The Arizona Wildcats lose their final game of the season to the Wisconsin Badgers. Final score: Arizona Wildcats 78 to the Wisconsin Badgers 85. This this right here, this game is kind of one that makes you, well, it made me kind of scratch my head and wonder what was the thing that we were missing. What was the reason why the Arizona Wildcats lost? Um, Looking at the stats, and um, I see 3 pointers. I think that that kind of jumps off the page. Well, and then if you watch the game, then you know that it was the 3 pointers. I mean, they just the there was a guy from the Wisconsin Badgers, Sam Decker, that scored 5 for 6 from 3-point land. Um, that is very good, and the thing about it was it was just insane the amount of 3 pointers that they were that Wisconsin Badgers were able to make comfortably. They were feeling good, and they were knocking down their 3 pointers, and I was, I'm a diehard Arizona fan, and I really support the Arizona Wildcats, and so, but I have to bow my hat. I have to tip my hat to um, Sam Decker, because, I mean, I smile on him. I saw a smile on his face from ear to ear. He was just so happy. I mean, and he should be, because he knocked down all those 3 pointers. 5 for 6 from 3-point land. Uh, and a lot of those games were just, and a lot of those 3 pointers were just the ones that they were just buried. They would just, they just hammered the hammered the nail into the coffin for the Arizona Wildcats. And so, they were big 3 pointers, and they were. I mean, some of the 3 pointers that he made, I was like, I wasn't even surprised, because it was like, no matter what he seemed to touch, it was gold. It just went in. There was no. I mean, all he had to do was catch the ball and throw it up in the air. It seemed like, with his eyes closed, and he could have made the 3 pointer. It was just insane. But so the so the Wisconsin Badgers were 10 for 12 from 3-point land in the second half, and the Arizona Wildcats were 1 for 3 from 3-point land in the second half. And that one 3-pointer was from Gabe York. In fact, Gabe York scored all of the 3 pointers for the Arizona Wildcats. He scored two 3 pointers for the Arizona Wildcats. And I talked to my dad after the game, and he was talking about Charles Barkley, and Charles Barkley was saying, um, live by the sword, die by the sword with the 3 pointers. So, the Arizona Wildcats they shot an insane amount of 3 pointers uh, against um, against Xavier on Thursday, and so it was like the Arizona Wildcats got all of their got all of their 3 pointers out of the way in that one game against Xavier, and then they had no more 3 pointers whatsoever left over in this game against Wisconsin Badgers. But I don't think that it was I don't think it was all 3 pointers, the 3 pointers fault. I really, and I talked to another friend, and I really think that what it was, if the Arizona Wild if the Arizona Wildcats could have dribbled, penetrated, could have just kept on driving that ball inside the key, and just tried to go for shots whenever they were on offense, and just pass the ball off and somebody was dribble penetrating and getting into the key and just trying to go for those shots and drawing fouls, then I think that would have somewhat tired the Wisconsin Badgers down. Um, and maybe that's what we did. Maybe that is what the Arizona Wildcats did, but I just wasn't paying attention enough because we had the Arizona Wildcats shot in the second half. They shot 19, or not 19, well, they shot 20 they had 20 free throws in the second half. And so that means that they were fouled probably about 10 times in the second half by the Wisconsin Badgers, and the Arizona Wildcats made 15 or made yeah no the Arizona Wildcats had shot 22 times from the free throw land from the charity stripe in the second half, and they made 20 of them. So they shot like over 90% from the charity stripe. And so they obviously the guys were drawing fouls, and drawing fouls from Wisconsin. But the thing about it is for some reason it wasn't it wasn't tiring Wisconsin down. I mean, I think I heard from one of the sportscasters, he was saying that one of the reasons why the Arizona Wildcats were able to get back into the game and actually to win the first half of the game is because the Arizona Wildcats had been tiring Kaminsky down quite a bit and tiring a lot of the players down, and so they were able to get off shots, and actually the Wisconsin Badgers were failing as far as their percentage was going down. Their field goal percentage was going down quite a bit in that first half. The field goal percentage for the Wisconsin Badgers was 38, and in the second half, the field goal percentage for the Wisconsin Badgers was 78%. So that's like a difference of 40%. The major difference, and the reason why is one of the reasons why is all those 3-pointers is that goes into account. That's why the field goal percentage went up so much, is because the Wisconsin Badgers shot 10 for 12 from the 3-point land. So then another thing that I just I couldn't really understand it. I couldn't really understand. I mean, T.J. McConnell, he normally gets like 6 or 7 assists a game, and he had 5 this time, which is not bad. Not too bad at all. Not bad at all. But the Arizona Wildcats had 5 guys in double figures. So it wasn't like the Arizona Wildcats weren't getting contributions from every single player, but I don't think that they were getting enough team ball. My dad was mentioning to me that one of the reasons why the Wisconsin Badgers won this game is because they had so many seniors on their team, so much veteran experience for the Wisconsin Badgers, and that's why they were able to eventually, as far as I'm concerned, they dominated this game. Wisconsin Badgers dominated this game. I mean, once we were down by like 10 or 12 points or something like that, and there was 10 minutes left, then I was like, because it seemed like every time we would push forward, then they would push right back, and they would push back even harder with the 3-pointer usually. So I just didn't think that it was going to happen. So maybe it was that veteran experience of their senior players for the Wisconsin Badgers. Maybe that was one of the reasons also that the Wisconsin Badgers were able to were able to succeed, win this game. And another thing that I think the Wisconsin Badgers is they have Bo Ryan, and Bo Ryan is a little bit older than Sean Miller for the Arizona Wildcats, the coach for Arizona Wildcats, and I think that his 10 years, Bo Ryan's extra 10 years of being a head coach has helped him as far as getting more experience and dealing with different, with trying situations, with difficult situations, and staying cool and calm and collective during that time, and I think that calmness that spreads to your teammates. They can sense that you feel like everything is under control, even though it's getting a little bit chaotic. And I think that Sean Miller is just a little bit too young to deal with that. And I still think Sean Miller is a fantastic coach, and I wouldn't trade him for Bo Ryan or any other coach in the world. I think he's a fantastic coach, and I really hope that he continues. I think, what does this say? He's taken the team to the Sweet 16 3 or 4 of his 6 years that he's been at the head coach at the University of Arizona. So he's doing very well. It's just, once he gets it figured out, then he will be doing pretty good as far as getting the Wildcats to that Final Four and to that maybe to the championship game. But for right now, he's just I don't think that he's at that stage in his life yet. I just think he needs to have a few more years underneath his belt of experience, and then he will be able to do the right things to make it all happen. But anyway, there's a lot of luck that's involved, and that's what Lute Olson for the Arizona Wildcats was also saying. So, there's luck involved, and there's also coaching involved too. So, it's just the name of the game. So, anyway, and I was looking at the Arizona Wildcats. Made 24 out of their 43 field goals, and the Wisconsin Badgers had 25 out of their 45 field goals. I think that the one more thing that I just wanted to say is that I think that the Arizona Wildcats did a fantastic job on free throws, making it from the charity stripe, but I just wish that their offensive rebounds would have been a lot better than only 3 offensive rebounds. I think they would have. I wish they would have been able to get more offensive rebounds, and I wish that the Arizona Wildcats would have been able to get more assists. 5 assists from T.J. McConnell is not bad at all. He did fine, but I wish that it was more of a team ball. I wish that Ashley could have got an assist, and I wish that Hollis-Jefferson could have got an assist in there, and I wish that Stanley Johnson. These are normal assist players, normal people with normal within assist in each game. So whatever the Arizona Wildcats, I think they were playing a little bit more individual ball instead of team ball. But there's all sorts of little things that they could have done different, and this is just something that I think that they probably should have worked on, was a little bit more of their team ball. But either way, it's been a great season. I'm really happy with the guys, and um, they worked really, really, really hard this whole season. Um, uh, the final record of 34 wins and 4 losses is not bad at all. A lot of people would love to have that kind of record. So, I don't think the guys I they should feel good. I think they should feel good about how hard they worked this season. Um, it's just in the end it just didn't pan out, and just like the Arizona Wildcats had played Wisconsin Badgers last year, and so they kind of knew what they were going to be up against. The Wisconsin Badgers also had played the Arizona Wildcats last year, and so they kind of knew what they were up against, and so they knew what to handle and what Hollis-Jefferson was going to do, or what Caleb Krzyzewski might do, or what some of the other players might do, and what some of the other players, the University of Arizona players might not do. So, we were prepared. The Arizona Wildcats were prepared, but I think that Wisconsin was somewhat prepared too, and that's one of the reasons why they ended up pulling the 3-pointers out of the hat, and eventually just killing the Arizona Wildcats right there at the end, right there in the second half, and pretty much the second half. That's all that it was 3-pointers. Nice season, special season. Arizona Wildcats lose this game to the Wisconsin Badgers. The final score: Arizona Wildcats 78 to the